So now I'll start speak about the nerve. And the first one, in the occipitofrontalis muscle, that the frontal belly is innervated by the temporal branch of the facial nerve. And in the occipital belly, the posterior auricular nerve branch of the facial nerve. In the auricular part, it is innervated by the auricular temporal facial nerve in the exactly in the superior and the anterior. But in the posterior one, it is innervated by the posterior auricular nerve branch of the facial nerve. The second part are going to be the orbital, and in the first muscles in the orbital group are going to be the orbicularis oculi muscles. It's innervated by the temporal and the zygomatics branches of the facial nerve. And in the corrugator supracilii and the depressor supracilii, it is innervated by a temporal branch of the facial nerve. Let me show you also here. Okay, let's back. In the nasal group, the first one, the procerus muscles, this muscle is innervated by the zygomatics temporal and a lower zygomatics branch of the facial nerve, the procerus muscle. The second one, the transverse portion nasalis, it is innervated by buccal branch of the facial nerve. Okay, I show you. It's back. The last one in the nasal group, it's levator labii superioris and liqui nasi. It is innervated by the zygomatic and the buccal branch of the facial nerve. This is the last muscles in the nasal group. So let's move on to the oral group. In the oral group, the orbicularis oris muscles and the buccinator muscles and the risorius muscles, they are innervated by the buccal branch of the facial nerve. And in the three muscles, the zygomatics major and zygomatics minors and the levator labii superioris are innervated by the zygomatic and buccal branch of the facial nerve. And also the last one, this one once I talked about it, this one is called the levator anguli oris. It is also innervated by the zygomatics and a buccal branch of the facial nerve. And the last three, this part, the depressors anguli oris, is innervated by the buccal and the mandible branch of the facial nerve. And the depressor labii inferior, it is also innervated by the buccal and the mandible branch of the facial nerve. And the last one, the mentalis, it's easy, you can see here, it's a mandible branch of the facial nerve. The last group, as I talked about the muscles of the mastication. Okay, in the muscles of the mastication, the first one here is the temporalis, and it's innervated by the deep temporal branch of the mandibular nerve. In the second one, the masseters. In the masseters muscles, the superficial one and the deep one are innervated by the cranial nerve number 5, the mandibular, the division number 3. And in this muscle, it's not only innervate this area, it also innervate the lateral and the medial pterygoid. I will show you. It is also, as I said, it's innervated by the cranial nerve number 5 and the lateral pterygoid. Same. And this is about the nerve of the muscles of the skull. Thank you for watching.